while I drive, let's go ahead and let's just talk about this real estate entrepreneur roller coaster that, man, so many people get into this business and they try to be so successful and then it doesn't work out for them. They realize how frustrating it is, how sad it is, how hard it is, how all these things that you didn't think would happen, that you thought would happen so easy, are all of a sudden not happening at all. Hey, I got into real estate the same way. I was trying to buy my dad a house. Could not get him a house to save my life because I was not a person with the kind of finances that can purchase real estate. What I realized in entrepreneurship and in business, like if your parents make 500K, there's a high chance you end up making 500K. If your parents are millionaires, there's a chance you may end up a millionaire. But the environment that I grew up in, it's like if your parents are broke with no advice to give you, you are broke with no advice. Like that's your upbringing. So we don't have to get into all that right now, but just something to think about. But what I realized about real estate and entrepreneurship, when I got into this business, I thought because I was a barber, because I was a cosmetologist, because I had those licenses and I was, cut people's hair and talk to people, that I would be great at selling real estate, that's the biggest mistake everybody can make, is to think that we can all be great at selling real estate. Like, yeah, you can. But can we all be great athletes? Yeah, we can. But what's the actual chances of any one of us becoming that great of an athlete, right? So it's the same with real estate. I think that's what people don't realize is a lot of headaches and turmoil. Everybody goes like, oh, if you could do it, I could probably do it, buddy. But hey, could you do what I did when I was cutting hair, going in between appointments, taking calls, living in an apartment building, nice apartment building, they have basketball courts, like a pool, nice building, right? A pool table that I like to play on, but not being able to pay my bills, like literally for 6 months, cannot pay my bills. Could you do that while you're in real estate, or would you quit? Could you push yourself beyond your breaking point when you have kids, when you're getting evicted, when you're not making any money? Can you still stay with it and keep your mind sharp and keep trying to grow? Can you do that? Because that's what real estate is. That's what entrepreneurship is the person willing to stay the longest, go the hardest, keep going, keep showing up when every door is getting slammed in your face, when nothing seems to be working your way, not one thing. I don't come from an environment where all these rich people wanted to mentor me. That never happened for me. They always want to mentor like their friend's kid. Well, I'm not a rich man's son, right? And if that's the same situation for you, or you're coming into this business or any entrepreneurship endeavor and you're thinking like, oh, I'll just come in and it'll be great. No. That's not how it goes for most of you. That is not how it's gonna go for most of you. It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, a lot of tears, maybe a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears, and then eventually you break through. Like right now, I'm not the richest man on earth by any stretch of imagination. However, some of my bills are actually paid. I finally started making money. I finally was able to buy myself a house from eviction to renting to sucks not being able to pay your bills to paying all that off to finally saving money, being able to buy a condo, being able to buy multi-families, being able to continuously show financial growth, increasing my mental and financial thermostat for financial and emotional success. And yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. The only problem is many of us won't, because once you hit a little opposition, you tuck your tail and you go hide, right? I'm sorry. Was it not as easy as you thought building a real estate business? I'm sorry, was it not as easy as you thought, saving your money and becoming better and changing your careers? I'm sorry. Hey, sucks for you. And that's how you have to really look at it. Nobody's going to come and spoon feed you for the most part. But if you work hard, if you continue to becoming better, if you continue to try to be the best version of yourself, what you're going to realize is there's plenty of people that will help you. Life will help you. Certain things are going to come your way that you didn't expect. And the harder you work, the luckier you get. So I know that somebody out there is listening to me. And I know that many of you actually know who I am and my upbringing, and all I'm trying to tell you is you can absolutely change. You can go get this money, you can go get a better life, right? You can go have better relationships, but it's going to take work, especially if nobody in your family has taught you to do these things. We don't learn these things. Where I come from, people do not learn these things. And there's a big divider between people that know and people that don't know, right? When you're coming from the bottom, the people at the top or the middle they might think they have an idea, but they don't have no idea what it's like to be at the bottom. Zero. Absolutely zero. They can conceptually try to understand it, but it's just not the same. And when you're coming from the bottom, sometimes you just don't understand. And that's in anything, right? In any endeavor or in life. And sometimes you just don't understand what it's going to take for you to succeed on a much more, for you to succeed, period, on a higher scale, in a better opportunities, so you can finally change your life, so you can make some money, be able to pay your bills, be able to maybe buy a little something extra for you and your family. And like, I'm still growing, right? So it's not just because you get a little bit of money. Don't forget, at every level you could lose your money, at every single level, right? It doesn't matter how much you make. So it's not always what you make, it's what you keep. Continue to growing and working on yourself. And yes, of course you can do it. Of course you become more successful entrepreneur and a business person and in life. But it's not going to fall in your lap, and you just have to go after it. I hope it helps. If you want to talk more about your next best move financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you know who to call.